Well, technical difficulties. Well, technical difficulties. The Constellation jingle logo did not start for whatever reason, but that will not stop me from talking about Informatica's user conference, which happened last week in Las Vegas. Informatica World. The event was similar attended like last year when it was in San Francisco. Always tough to compare a little bit the attendance between Moscone West and the Sands Convention Center in Las Vegas, but I think it was similar, certainly the same interest from an influencer perspective, which is always good to see. Last year was the first conference after Informatica got taken private, owned by private equity, and there were a lot of fears and concerns that Informatica would not be the same anymore. That fear, we can by now say, has to be clearly buried. It can be put away. Informatica is doing well, is investing more in R&D than ever before. The product roadmap is rich overall. The management team has not been shaken up. So all the fears which were around at the time have been replaced by the facts around that part. Coming to my top 3 takeaways, it's a broad platform push to the cloud, which is happening on the Informatica side, which was announced, and it's good to see the company, the vendor, executing in that direction. It's still a work in progress. That doesn't happen overnight. It has a large on-premise install base, which has to be educated and see the capabilities. Informatica on the other side has to provide the capabilities which are similar to the on-premise version, which doesn't happen overnight as well. The good, interesting thing is, of course, is that the cloud gives Informatica more options in terms of modernizing its architecture. Interesting things like artificial intelligence with Clear, and more interesting, even in my view, because more tangible and more closer into the products, even the microservice capability, which for all these things about data governance, refining, masking, integrating are very, very interesting to use and very elastic to use, which is the main benefit of moving to the cloud and basically enabling Informatica to do something which they couldn't do before in the on-premise versions. But talking about cloud, takeaway number 2 is last year Informatica said it's all going to be on AWS. We knew it would not stop there. Scott Guthrie from Microsoft Azure was on stage, sharing how Informatica will be moving its platform as well to Azure, which is an important step forward. Multi-cloud deployments are important. Customers are not only in a single cloud. They don't want to move the integration to another cloud. Ultimately, I think Informatica will have to be at least the big 3, not even potentially more partners there. So the first step to multi-cloud is 2 clouds. We'll see more cloud announcements in my view. There's nothing confirmed with the vendor coming from Informatica sooner than later. And the move to cloud is in progress, where I didn't like that Informatica only opened its European instance last week. So that's 2 weeks ago. And last week was the big May 25th date. If you don't know, that was the GDPR date, which means a lot of data localization, a lot of local data to be kept inside of Europe or being requested in that. So a little bit late from that perspective, but I guess product cycles did not align so well. Now there is an EU instance, there will be more instances coming. Microsoft adds the most instances from all IaaS providers, so a good choice from that perspective as well. Overall, my takeaway, Informatica keeps executing, keeps building on product, moves customers to the cloud. It's always taking a little longer to move customers to the cloud platform for these vendors than usually takes. There's the same thing on the SaaS part. Why should it be different on the PaaS and iPaaS perspective? Now the speed of Informatica providing those new product capabilities and moving those customers, and some work on the UX. I mean, they talk very strongly about being one platform and the single sign-on, other pieces which are behind the scenes are there. But the most obvious thing for customers, of course, is the tip of the iceberg is the user experience, and that is not yet consistent across the product, but that's something which Informatica can fix. That's it. Thank you very much for watching. Kept it short and sweet. This is Holger Mueller from Constellation Research. Follow me on Twitter at HolgerMU. That's HOLGERMU. I tweet everything that's happening on the event, which is not under NDA. That means a lot of tweet, but a lot of information. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Appreciate it.